Namaste and good morning. Let's start with the prayers. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu सह वीर्यं कर्वावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै. ओम शांति शांति शांति. Now we'll chant Mahamrutyunjaya mantra 3 times to pray for those who are in suffering. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanat Mrutyormukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv Bandhanat Mrutyormukshiyamamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam iva bandhana mrutyormukshiyamamrutat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Welcome everyone. We'll start class 16 today. So in the previous two classes, class 14, we did the Vartamane Krudanta or present active participle. Also the future active participle, Bhavishyati Krudanta. We did that for the Parasmaipadi roots. So that's why it's active, because in passive voice, it's the Atmanepadi suffixes which are used. In class 15, we saw same Vartmane Krudanta and Bhavishyati Krudanta, but then we saw for Atmanepadi roots, and we also saw in both active and passive voice, because Atmanepadi suffixes can be used for both active and passive voices. Kartari Prayoga, Karmani Prayoga. Today we will see the remaining participles. Bhute Krudanta, past participle. So we did the present participle, we did future participle. Today we'll do the past participle. And among all the participles, this is the most common, particularly the passive one. So the past participle can be used for Kartari Prayoga, that is active voice, for Karmani Prayoga, that is passive voice, we have already studied them, and Bhavi Prayoga, that is impersonal passive. Sometimes it's translated in English as impersonal passive because English does not have a corresponding grammatical structure for Bhavi Prayoga. And this past participle can be used for either Parasmaipadi roots or Atmanepadi roots. There are two suffixes for the past participle. One is ta, the ta remains, and that is used primarily for Karmani and Bhavi Prayoga. Again, as I said, these participles are used both for Parasmaipadi or Atmanepadi. So this is primarily used for Karmani or Bhavi Prayoga. that means it is also sometimes used for Kartari Prayoga, active voice. So we'll see what are those conditions where it is used for active voice, but that's the primarily. So because it's primarily used for Karmani or Bhave Prayoga, the passive voice, and it's a past participle, it is also written in the books as past passive participle, PPP, 3 times P, past passive participle. But please understand that it's not always passive. It is also used as active in certain cases. Then another participle is tavatu. Tavat remains of that, and that is only for Kartari Prayoga or the active voice. So here it is simple, only for the active voice, the Kartari Prayoga. So we'll see how the participles are formed. So let's see a root gum. We all know this root, very popular root, gum, to go. So you add ta for making the, so two participles, we can ta and tavatu, ta and tavat. So for ta, we add ta. Gum plus ta, it becomes gata. Makara is dropped. Why makara is dropped in this case, and in some cases it may not be? Those are the certain Panini rules which are beyond the scope of this course. You just understand that in certain cases, makara will drop. It becomes gata, means gone to, because remember it's a passive case. So something which is being gone to, like if you say a school is being gone to by Rama, so gone to, like a school, it will refer to the school. Then tavat. Tavat, all you have to do is add the vat afterwards. So that's pretty simple to make. First you make ta and you add the vat after that. So gata becomes gatavat, and it means went, like Rama went to school, so Rama gatavat, like in that sense. We'll see how is it used in the sentences, but that's how the participle forms are made from the roots. Feminine becomes gata, the long a, or gatavati. So gata becomes gata, gatavat becomes gatavati. Those are the feminine. As you can clearly see, then how are they declined? So gata is very simple. It's an akaranta noun. So you will decline like Rama. No complications there. Gata is a feminine akaranta noun, like Lata. No complications there, no exceptions. Gatavati, that's also pretty straightforward. Ikaranta feminine noun. There are no exceptions. Then this one is remaining Gatavat. So we have already studied nouns ending in takara. So we'll see how does Gatavat behave. So Gatavat, we say ending in tavat because it's ending in tavat, not just takara or vat. It's ending in tavat. So if you remember the present participle when we had, it's gachat. It ends in at, he who is going. But past participle becomes he who went. And there also it's a two stem, just like in gachat. I can probably take these two side by side so that you can see. Okay, so let's see the two forms side by side. This is present participle, he who is going, we already studied that, and gatavat, he who went, ending in tavat. This is what we are studying today. So if you look at just like present participle, past participle also two stem, and here it becomes gatavan, nakara comes just like here, gatavantau, gatavantaha, gatavantam, gatavantau. The difference is here. Here it's gachan, here it becomes gatavan. So only for the nominative singular, there is a long elongation of akara. It becomes akara, gatavan. So that you have to just pay the attention to. Otherwise, it is exactly the same way done, and the vocative, it doesn't change. It becomes gatavan only. It doesn't become gatavan. So otherwise, it's identical to the present participle we studied earlier, except the nominative singular. So every participle is a nominal form, and you can see that nominal form wise it is similar to present participle except nominative singular. Then we have neuter. So neuter also, let me put side by side so that you can see. Okay, so now if you look at the neuter between the present participle and past participle, there is also slight difference here. The difference is, you can see in present participle, gachat, gachanti, gachanti, gachat, gachanti, gachanti. Here it becomes gatavat, gatavati, gatvanti. So only in the plural there is an addition of nakara. Otherwise it is identical to the present participle. So because we have already studied present participles, there are no new complications. All you have to remember is, in the masculine it is gatavan, in feminine it is gatavati, and feminine, you know, ikaranta noun gatavati goes exactly like any other ikaranta noun, and neuter it is gatavat. Only the nominative and accusative plural, they have the nakara added to it. Okay, so this is the structure, simple structure. Sometimes when you make this takara forms, instead of takara it becomes takara. So like drush dhatu, to see, drush plus ta, it becomes drushta, seen, something seen. Drush tavat, tavat is always like you just put vat after the ta form. So drushtavat, saw, somebody saw. Feminine forms becomes drushta, drushtavati. They becomes exactly the same way as earlier. Then in some cases there is an addition of ikara. So has means to laugh. Has ta, hasita. So even though we say has plus ta, but there are certain rules because of which an additional ikara comes into place. So it becomes hasita. Has tavat, hasitavat. And feminine becomes hasita and hasitavati. So even though the participle is takara, there are certain rules which can change the end form, and in some cases it becomes na, like bhid. Bhid becomes bhinna. So if I take root called bhid, bhinna, it becomes bhinna. Bhed is a root which means to break into two parts, or to basically tear something apart. Bhed. So it becomes bhinna. And bhinnavat. The tavat would become still the same way, bhinnavat. And feminine also will follow the same rule. So just to understand, as and when if you study Panini rules in original, that then you understand that which rules are deriving which forms and how. Right now, just understand that some forms could be different. Any questions so far on the structure part before we go to the usage? Will gata also mean went, or what is the difference between gatavan and gata? Okay, so we'll see the examples that will become clear that how to use them. Okay, all right. So if there are no more questions, there is a question from Sanchitama. What happened to WhatsApp? WhatsApp, nothing happened. We sent the message on WhatsApp. Okay. Then I'll come to the usage. Look at these sentences. Just pay the attention to these sentences. Just take a minute and just read those sentences. So I hope you read those sentences, and let's see what do we do with these sentences. So Rama goes to school. We have seen this kind of sentence a lot of times. That's not a news for us. So Ramaha Vidyalayam Gachati. So Ramaha Vidyalayam Gachati. That's a pretty simple sentence. Rama goes to school. Now, if I say Rama went to school, how will I make this sentence? I'll say Ramaha. I'll put the past tense form of the. So if you look at Gachati, Agachat, third person singular. That's what I'll use. So Ramaha. So it will be exactly the same thing. We can copy the sentence from here. All we need to change is the verb form. So instead of Gachati, we will say Agachat. And same thing we can change here. Agachat. Rama Vidyalayam Agachat. Rama went to school. Now if I want to use the past participle, because past participle will function the same way, in the same meaning as the past tense. So Gachat, what was the past participle? So past participle was Gatavat, went. Rama went. So it becomes an adjective of Rama. Rama went to school. Gatavat. And because it's not a verb, it's a nominal, I have to use the nominal declension. So gatavat, what will become my gatavan, nominative singular, because it's Rama, nominative singular, gatavan. So how will I make this sentence now? I'll copy this thing, and instead of agachat, I'll say gatavan. Ramah Vidyalayam gatavan. So these two sentences, Ramah Vidyalayam agachat and Ramah Vidyalayam gatavan, both mean the same thing. Rama went to school. Here we have discussed earlier in the classes that every Sanskrit sentence has to have a verb form, because this is the now nominal form, gatavan. There is no verb form here. So how to complete sentence? So we basically say that there is an implied verb. What is the implied verb? Generally, as I told you, it's asti. So asti is the implied verb. Ramah Vidyalayam gatavan asti. In practice, most of the times you will find that this verb is not included. So it is, you have to understand that there is asti or santi, depending upon the number of people it is there. So generally, you will, in the texts, you will find just Ramaha Vidyalayam Gatavan, and you should understand that there is an implied verb form, and it means the same thing. Rama went to school. Now let's see this sentence. School is gone to by Rama. So we have Rama goes to school, the passive voice of the school is gone to by Rama. How do I write it then? Instead of Rama Vidyalayam Gachati, we have discussed quite a few times this kind of thing. So we will say Ramena Vidyalaya Gamyate, passive voice form. Ramena Vidyalaya Gamyate. Now if I change the sentence to school was gone to by Rama, so I'll be using the same sentence, just like here I changed the Gachati to Agachat. Here also I will use so I can number these. So Ramayana, so exactly like in as I did in from 1a to 2a, Gachati becomes a Gachat. Here also Gamyate will become, Gamyate is the present tense form, and then I'll get the past tense form. How will I get the past tense form? We have already saw that earlier, like Labhate. Labhate is the present tense form, and Alabhata, that is the past tense form, Lang Lakara. So Gamyate, Agamyata, that's how I'll use. Agamyata. Ramena Vidyalaya Agamyata. The school was gone to by Rama. Now if I have to use the past participle for this, so it's a passive sentence. I'll use the past passive participle, which is Gata, gone to. School was gone to. So how will I do that? I'll use the Ramena Vidyalaya. Gata was the form. Gata, simple akaranta noun, and Vidyalaya, it will qualify Vidyalaya. Remember, this is a nominal. It will qualify Vidyalaya. And Vidyalaya is the nominative singular. So Gataha, it will come like Ramaha, Gataha, nominative singular. Gataha. Ramena Vidyalaya Gataha. Okay. Again, there is no verb form here. As you can see, Ramena is nominal, Vidyalaya is a nominal, Gataha is nominal. So we provide the Asti or Asit, depending upon Asit is the past form like was, and Asti is the present form. So Ramena Vidyalaya Gata Asit. Rama was gone to, the school was gone to by Rama. So now we'll see this one. Rama saw an elephant. This is just like Rama went to the school. Rama saw an elephant. So Rama saw apashyat. Gajam apashyat. Gajam is the elephant. Apashyat. Rama Gajam apashyat. Rama saw an elephant. So now if I want to convert this into the participle form, that's easy. All I have to do is instead of apashyat, drush dhatu, that is pashyati, to see, and drushtavat, that is the nominal, it's an active voice, kartari prayoga. So drushtavan, the first nominal singular would be like gatavan, drushtavan. So I'll use the drushtavan here. Ramah Gajam Drushtavan. Similarly, this one, if you look at an elephant was seen by Rama. Now here if I say, for example, Rama saw elephants, plural in elephants, then I will have Ramaha Gajan Apashyat, and same way Ramaha Gajan Drushtavan. But if I have to say, for example, Rama and Shyama saw an elephant, let's say if I change the sentence here, so instead of Rama, let's say I put Sita. Just we'll do a couple of experiments. Sita saw an elephant. So here about it will become simple. It becomes Sita Gajam Apashyat. Sita Gajam Apashyat. Sita saw an elephant. And this one, what will it become now? Sita Gajam, it's a feminine noun now. because Sita, it's Sita is feminine, and remember it's a Kartari Prayoga, so the participle becomes it becomes an adjective to the nominative singular, so it becomes now the adjective to Sita. It becomes feminine, and how will it come in feminine? Like Gatavati, that is the feminine. So nominative singular of the feminine form. So it becomes Društavati. So this you have to understand that it's a participle form and it follows the noun. So when it is a feminine, it becomes Sita Gajam Društavati, not Društavan. Sita Gajam Društavati. Similarly, if instead of Sita, if I say, for example, boys saw an elephant, or I can say girls saw an elephant. Girls saw an elephant. So it becomes Balaha. Balaha Gajam, because it's in the verb form, it's a plural, so it becomes Abhavat, Abhavatam, Abhavan. It's still third person, it becomes Abhavan. So it becomes Abhavan. So Apashyan, so it becomes Apashyan. Balaha Gajam Apashyan. The girls saw an elephant. Now how will I make the participle form out of this? Balaha, it's a feminine nominative plural. So I will go to the nominative plural, and it is Gatavatyah. So Društavatyah. Now suppose if I say I saw an elephant. I saw an elephant. Then here I'll say Aham Gajam, and what will be the verb form? Verb form will be Abhavam Apashyam. Aham Gajam Apashyam. And what will be the participle form now? I should copy and paste, then remember to copy it properly. Okay, so Aham Gajam Apashyam. What will be the participle form here? So participle form will be the same as Ramaha, because it's a nominative singular. Even though verb form, it is different because it's a third person, second person, first person. But when I come to the nominal, whether it is aham or he, saha, it is still the nominative singular. So same form will come as in Ramaha. Aham gajam drushtavan. All right. So I hope this part is clear to you. Let me take any questions you have. So there is a comment here. School was gone to is not a samanya vakya. I'm not sure, Mukund Baba, what do you mean? Can you please explain that? So there is a question here. Drushtuvatyaha and drushtuvantaha, same meaning. It is the same meaning, just the so here gatavantaha or gatavatyaha. Gatavantaha and gatavatyaha, same meaning. Meaning is the same, but this you will use when the subject is feminine, plural. This you will use when the subject is masculine, plural. So you cannot interchange them, but the meaning is the same. So the question is, if I put the verb here, aham, because I said asti is the implied verb here, then what will be the implied verb for balaha? It's plural. It will be santi. So balaha gajam društvatyaha santi. It cannot be asti, or it will be asit, or if you put in the past tense, then it will be the past tense. But similarly in aham, it will be asmi, not asti, because aham is the, so it will be asmi. Implied. But as I said, most of the times you do not find this verb explicitly mentioned. In the case 8, the aham is a female. Is then the participle changes to female, or is it always to masculine? So aham, if you remember, in the nominative, then you take the aham, the forms do not change based upon nominative masculine or plural, masculine or feminine. So asmad, there is only single form. We don't have masculine, feminine, or neuter here. Therefore, whether it is masculine, feminine, or neuter, it remains aham, and participle form also. But participle, now the question is participle form, like what will become the participle form if it the ahem? That's a good question. So it will change actually. So because it is the feminine person, she is saying that I saw the elephant, then it will become aham gajam drushtavati. That is correct. It will not remain masculine. It will become feminine. Good point. So even though aham does not have nominal declension, remains the same, but this declension depends upon the gender, it will change. Is asti after jata gata? I think you are saying gata. Implied or should be written? It's normally implied. You don't have to write. The thing is that when you find the expressions in the book, you might wonder that where is the verb form? Sanskrit sentence cannot be without a verb form. Therefore, I told you that it is implied, but you don't have to write, and most of the times it's not written. So there is a question why apashyat remains same in Rama and Sita. So you see, this is apashyat. Ramaha gajam apashyat or Sita gajam apashyat, because the verb forms do not change depend upon the gender. So verb forms change based upon the third person, second person, or first person, singular, dual, plural. There is no gender which changes the verb form. But nominals, they are changed based upon the gender and the singular, dual, plural. They do not change based upon the first person, second person, or third person. So that is the difference. Okay. So with this, we'll go further. An elephant was seen by Rama. So this one will be the same way as the school was gone to by Rama. Ramena Vidyalaya Agamyat. We'll say Ramena Gajaha Apashyata. No, Adrush. So it becomes Drushyate, the passive form here. So Adrushyata, not Apashyata. Adrushyata. It's a passive verb form. Ramena Gajaha Adrushyata. How will I make it participle? So here I can write, just for the sake of, will include it in notes. This is masculine, and here aham gajam drushtuvati. Family. So an elephant was seen by Rama. Now how will I make the participle form? It's simple. We already did that. Ramena Gajaha Drushtaha. Ramena Gajaha Drushtaha. So now suppose if it were a female elephant. Female elephant was seen by Rama. So female elephant is Gaja, long A. So first I'll say Ramena Gaja Adrushyata. But when I come into the participle form, I have to change it to the participle form. Drushta. Remember I showed you earlier, Drushta. Feminine form becomes Drushta. So it becomes Drushta. Ramena Gaja Drushta. Meaning is identical. Similarly, if you say elephants were seen by Rama, then you will have to use the plural form of the participle also. Because remember, participle becomes an adjective to the noun. So whatever is the gender or the number of the noun, you have to use the participle in the same fashion. Now, if I want to say, I want to see the elephant which was seen by Rama. So an elephant was seen by Rama, Ramena Gajaha Drushtaha. So if I say I want to see the elephant, so how will I now say this sentence? Aham. Remember, this is our elephant was seen by Rama. This is our sentence. And here I want to say Ramena drushtam gajam. So aham. So first I want to see the elephant. How will I say? Aham gajam this drashtum ichhami. We have seen this kind of sentence. Drashtum, the infinitive participle. I want to see the elephant. Now I want to see that elephant which was seen by Rama. So gajam will become Ramena drushtam. So here I'll put Ramena drushtam gajam drashtum ichhami. Aham Ramena drashtam gajam drashtum ichhami. I want to see the elephant which was seen by Rama. So because gajam, it becomes drashtam. Drushtam. So let us see a few sentences here now in the impersonal passive. So Rama laughed. So I can make the verb form Rama ahasat. Has is the laugh. Rama ahasat. Rama laughed. Or I can make the participle now. So how will I make the participle now? So participle we said for impersonal passive, only the participle will be used. This is impersonal passive, bhave prayoga. There is no object here. Like unlike where elephant was seen by Rama, elephant is the object. Here there is no object. So if I use the verb form like we earlier studied passive voice, that if I want to make passive, then I will make Ramena so just like it was gamya agamyata adrushyata ahasyat. Agamyata, it will be ahasyata. Ahas. But this is less common to use the verb form. What is more common is the participle form. And participle form is hasita. Now because it's a hasita is the participle form. Which gender should I bring here? Which gender and which number? Because it qualifies the object and there is no object here. So I use always the neuter singular, hasitam. So whenever the impersonal I use bhave prayoga, I always use the hasitam because it's a gata like vanam. It's a hasitam, Ramena hasitam. And this is quite common to use. That means in English we will translate as Rama laughed, but if you literally have to translate, you will be saying that laughing was done by Rama. Ramena hasitam. So Rama laughed, Ramena hasitam. Actually, this is already covered. Laughing was done by Rama. That's how you will use it. And if you have to say laughing was done by me, then also it will be the same form, hasitam. It will not change because it doesn't matter, because there is no object here. All you have to do is put maya here, the third person, the third case, maya, tritiya, instrumental singular, just like Ramena. Similarly, maya aham, but otherwise maya hasitam. Same will be there. Maya hasitam. So it doesn't matter when you make the bhavi prayoga, which is the whether it's masculine, feminine, neuter, the subject, or singular, plural, dual. It always comes into the neuter singular. So we saw these many. Any questions so far? Okay. If no questions, then I will tell you that under what conditions we saw that under certain conditions this one becomes kartari prayoga, this ta participle. So what are those conditions? So it becomes kartari prayoga used in active voice for verbs of motion and intransitive verbs. So this one used in active voice for verbs of motion and transitive verbs. Intransitive verbs, you know, in Sanskrit we say akarmaka dhatu. So akarmaka roots. Akarmaka means the one which cannot take an object, like has. So now this one, Rama laughed, I can also make here Ramaha hasitaha. Here, even though it's a ta pratyaya, ta suffix, but because it's a intransitive root, akarmaka dhatu, it can qualify the subject itself. Ramaha, it can be used in the active voice sense. And I can say Rama laughed. So similarly, when I put here, Rama went to school, I said Ramaha Vidyalayam Gatavan. I can also say here Ramaha Vidyalayam Gataha. That is also acceptable because this is a verb of motion. Gata is like to go, it's a verb of motion. It can be used in passive voice as well as active voice. So I can make it qualify the object, like here Ramena Vidyalayah Gata, or I can qualify it for Ramaha Vidyalayam Gata. So either case it is used. So for the verbs of motion and for the intransitive roots, akarmaka dhatu, this ta pratyaya can take both active and passive voice. Okay, so this is extremely common suffix ta. You will encounter it many places. Out of all the participle, this is the most commonly used. And because this is most versatile, you can use it in कर्तरी प्रयोग, कर्मणि प्रयोग, भावे प्रयोग, परस्मैपदी roots, आत्मनेपदी roots, and sometimes even though it's saying past, but the meaning conveyed is the present also, like Rama is gone to school, sometimes we say, or so, but generally it is the past participle. So just wanted to, more and more you will see, you will find that this participle is used in a lot of places. Okay, there is a question how we came up with hasitam. So hasitam we came, hasita, if you look at here, hasita, that is the hasita, that is the ta pratyaya, ta suffix, and hasita becomes a nominal. So if you take the its neuter form of this, like vana, vanam. So if I go nominative, and how is the neuter form? Vana, vanam. So hasita, hasitam. That's how we came. So nominative singular of the neuter form. There is a question, we can also write aham ichhami gajam drashtum ramena gajam. So this is related to this one. Aham ramena drashtam gajam drashtum ichhami. The question is, can I also write aham ichhami gajam drashtum and then ramena drashtam? Technically you can, because it is possible for the word order to be different. Normally the adjective comes before the noun, and therefore ramena drishtam is the adjective for gajam and comes before that. So that is it. In general, that's the order you find. So there is a question, can you please explain how was seen by Rama becomes drishtam? Because it's a gajam. Gajam is, so remember here, ramena gajaha drishtaha. An elephant was seen by Rama. Now here it becomes gajam, so it's a accusative singular. So the participle also will become accusative singular, like drishtam. Okay, there is a question, should it not be in the last example, Ramah Vidyalayam Gatam? What are you qualifying with Gata? You are saying Rama went to school. So it's a Kartari Prayoga, first of all. That means participle will qualify the subject, Rama. Because Rama is in nominative singular, participle also will be in nominative singular, masculine. On the other hand, if you have here Ramena Vidyalaya Gataha, or if you want to say, I want to go to that school which was gone to by Rama, then Vidya, it will become Vidyalayam and becomes Gatam. So you have to be always careful. Participle is an adjective. Adjective of what? If it's an adjective of subject or object, and which case and which number they are. So it will follow accordingly. I want to show you some examples from Gita. There is a question, an elephant is seen by Rama becomes Ramena Gajah Pashyate. No, Ramena Gajah Drushyate. The passive forms is not Pashyate, it's Drushyate. In this case, generally you are right, it would have been like that. But in this case, Drush Dhatu, it becomes Drushyate. So now I want to ask you, in this verse, can you identify if this, which form is the, there is a form, let me tell you, there is one form, which is the Ta Pratyaya form. Can you identify which one is the Ta Pratyaya form here? If you can identify, then write it down in the chat box. There is a Ta Pratyaya form in this verse. Which one is that? So some people said Kuruvata, but Kuruvata is not a passive form. Kuruvata is the parts. It's not a participle form. It's a verb form. Akuruvata, and Akuruvata is the like Alabhata. It's like Alabhata. It's the past tense, third person singular. Kima Kuruvata Sanjaya. That is a Kru Dhatu. It has a little bit different forms, like here Kru Dhatu and Akurvata. So this is the plural in Atmanepadi. So Samaveta, that is the form here. It's very strange how the Samaveta come. So first of all, you understand, it's so Samaveta, it looks like as if it's a feminine singular, but Yuyut Sabaha, this is the subject here. Yuyut Sabha is the main word is Yuyutsu, like Guru becomes Guravaha. So Guruhu becomes Guravaha. So Yuyutsu becomes Yuyutsavaha. So it's a masculine nominative plural. Yuyutsavaha means those desirous of fighting. And Samaveta becomes the adjective of this. So it is Samavetaha. So the word here is Samavetaha. Samavetaha. The Visarga drops because of the Sandhi root. So Samaveta is the word. It's a masculine nominative plural. How did it come about? What is the root here? So it came about Sam plus Av plus E and plus Ta suffix. So Samaveta. That's how it come about. So if you add it up, you will say Samaveta. So what does E mean? We have not studied this root. E means to go. It's a root of motion. It's a verb of motion. And these are the prefixes, verb prefixes. We have studied these prefixes, upasargas. So it becomes Samaveta. It means gathered. So whose adjective it is? It is adjective of Yuyutsavaha. Yuyutsava is in the Kartari Prayoga. So Samaveta is the Kartari Prayoga. How do we use? Now you see how the Kartari Prayoga is used, because it's a verb of motion. Otherwise, Ta Pratyaya will be used in the Karmani or Bhave Prayoga. But here, because of the Kartari Prayoga, because of the root of motion, we are using in the Kartari Prayoga also. So it becomes gathered. Those who desire us of fighting, gathered in the Dharma Kshetra and Kurukshetra, very first verse of Bhagavad Gita. Many of you might know, but very rarely you might have thought that this is a participle. Similarly, in this, Gataha, Sarva Gataha, that we have already seen. So Gataha also, this is used in the Kartari Prayoga. because it's a verb of motion, ta pratyaya. Then here also gataha, it is in the plural. This is also kartari prayoga here. So you see, this is quite a lot used in the kartari prayoga. That's why when we say past passive participle, it can be confusing. It is many times it's active participle. So it is munayaha, muni munayaha, gataha. It is the. Now here, this is our famous verse before we chant before the food. Brahmarpanam brahma havi brahmagno brahmana hutam. Can you identify which one is the ta pratyaya form? Anyone want to write? Which is the ta pratyaya form in this? Hutam. Hutam is the one. As you can see, it is brahmana hutam. It is the third case singular, instrumentive singular. So Brahma is the subject and hutam becomes the object, and it becomes the ta pratyaya form to be used in the karmani prayoga. Okay, with this I will break for the classwork. Today we got a little late because it was a lot of concepts to explain. So you see, we probably won't have a lot of time to cover it, but we can have a 10 minutes break. You see, whatever you can do in that. These are the exercises I have chosen based upon the book, and also in the homework you will have this. So try to solve whatever you can. It's 10:09. We will meet again at 10:20. In the meantime, any questions you have, please feel free to send them through the chat window. Welcome everyone. So this is the exercise for part of the home exercise as well. It's from the book. So if we translate this sentence, Margena Gatabantam Naram Aham Pashyami. So you can see clearly the verb here is Pashyami and Aham is the subject. That means I see. What I see? I see a man. Naram. I see a man. Then what kind of man? Margena Gatavantam. So if you remember here, Gatavantam, it is the accusative singular of Gatavat, means one who went. So the man who went by the road. So I see the man who went by the road. Now in English, we don't have all the participles we have in Sanskrit. So many times the translation, you will have to use one who, or many times translation in English will not reflect the nuances which are in Sanskrit in terms of participle. And that's okay, because different languages have different strengths and there are different ways to express. I just want to let you know that literal translation will not be possible in English, simply because English doesn't support that structure. So gramam gataye naraye tvam dhanam yacha. So yacha is the verb here. Please give. And tvam dhanam yacha. It's a lot lakara. You please give the money. To whom? To a man. Naraya. You please give the money to a man. What kind of man? Gramam gataya. So gataya is also in the fourth case because it's nara. Gataya. So one who went to the village. So please give the money to the man who went to the village. Bhumau patitena maya sah sapi patita. That's an interesting. Here can you see the verb form? Verb form you do not see. Bhumau patitena maya sah sa api. So this is the sandhi here. Sa api patita. So verb form we have to supply here. Asit or asti. So understand that part. So sa patita asti. Patita means fall. Because why is it in feminine? Because sa is also feminine. She also fell. Sa api patita. She also fell. Why patita is in so this is kartari sentence. Remember, it is qualifying the subject. It's a kartari. Patita, it's a takaranta, it's a ta pratyaya. So it is used in active voice, kartari prayoga, for intransitive verbs. To fall is intransitive. There is no, it does not take any object. That's why it is used in kartari prayoga. Even though it's a, so that's why to use it as a passive participle is a very confusing thing because it's many times used as active participle in active voice. So sa api patita, she also fell. How maya saha, along with me. So maya saha, she also fell along with me. And then maya, there is a adjective here. Bhumau patitena. Patita is patitena, so third case singular, just like maya is third case singular. So patitena becomes the adjective of maya. Bhumau, on the ground. So on the ground, she also fell along with me. That's how we'll translate. I mean, literally it means that I fell on the ground and along with me, she also fell on the ground. So either you can say she also fell along with me falling, or me, like that. So because as I said, in English, it's so many times difficult to translate literally the participles. Just see whatever makes the best sense in English structure of a sentence. So there is a question here, how do you infer the please from the second sentence? You do not infer the please, it's a lot lakara, can also be used in please sense. It can be used in the sense of request, or it can be used in the sense of command. So in English, generally we say please, so we put the please. There is a question here. Can number 2 be the man went begging in the village? How did you come to this one? The man went begging in the village. I don't see any connection here with that sentence. Okay, today's home exercise is small and not very difficult. There are only 15 sentences. 3 I already solved for you. Exercise 2, This is a paragraph. I have taken part of the paragraph here. This says rewrite the story in lesson 9, exercise 1, after converting its sentences into past participle constructions wherever possible. So what does that mean? Ratrau munir nagarim agachat. We will make it agachat as past participle. It will become gatavan. Ratrau munir nagarim gatavan, like that. Tatra sa nrupasya prasadam agachat. So again, sa becomes agachat, becomes gatavan. Tatra sa nrupasya prasadam gatavan. Prasadat bahir bhumau chasidat. So again, asidat is the verb form here. We'll make it sannavan. You can see the verb forms at the end of chapter 22, lesson 22 in book. They have given all the participle forms for all the roots which are used. So this is the root sad, and it becomes, the participle becomes sanna or sannavan. Nrupasya dasah tam munim apashyat. So again apashyat, it becomes drushtavan. So like that you have to rewrite the passage here. Then the third exercise, which is similar to this, is this. Convert the highlighted past tense forms in the story of the mustard seed in lesson 11 to past participle and list the original forms along with the participial forms appropriate in the context. So ekada kaschit balaha amriyata. Once upon a time, a boy died. So amriyata, so like you will write past tense form from here, amriyata, and here you will write mrutaha or mrutuvan. Mrutaha, or because mrutuvan. So why have I both? Because it's a intransitive verb, to die. There is no object here. So both participles can be used in kartari sense. So I can either say balaha mrutaha or balaha mrutuvan. Both are correct. Like that. Similarly, yada tasya balasya janani tasya shariram apashyat. So apashyat is the verb form. Now here you have to see janani apashyat. So it is the feminine. So when I put the participle form, it will be drushtvati. Because it is the, then aklishyat, sa aklishyat. So klishtvati, because again it is the feminine form. Sa amanyata. So again it is a feminine. So you have to say mandhatu matavati. Kutaha mama putraha amriyata. So amriyata is the same as we saw. Mrutaha mrutavan. Aham mama jivane sarvada ishwaram bhaktya anamam. Now here this form, here it is showing with the first person. When you put the participle, it will come as natavati, because it becomes the aham, it's the lady is saying. So it becomes natavati. So you have to keep that into account when you are transforming. Just understand the sentence, whether it is masculine, feminine, neuter, or singular or plural, and accordingly supply the forms. So this is the classwork, which basically for the homework you can use. Okay, there is a question here. Amriyata versus Apashyat. Why the change in the end? So here you see Amriyata, which is Balaha Amriyata. I hope you did this exercise. This is from chapter 11. But Amriyata is it's a Atmanepadi root. So Atmanepadi root, Alabhata, here it is Avabhat. So that's why. Miru is the Atmanepadi root and this is Parasmaipadi root. Okay. So these are all old, like those who have done the exercises, they should not find any difficulty. Even otherwise, you can try to translate part of it. So with this, today is our class number 16. 2 more classes are remaining in this course. Please try to come up with whatever homework you can so that you are in sync. And after that, you will of course have time to come up with that. So next class, we will discuss the lessons, 2 more lessons we are planning to cover in this course from the book 23 and 24. And last one, I want to keep it for the summary. So next class, most likely I'll cover both the lessons. It is not difficult. The concept part, pretty much we are done. So we are done with all the participle, and that is very rich in concept. So next 2 lessons, they are just a few more nominal forms. There is not much of a concepts in the next class. So 2 more classes, and any questions, always feel free to send us an email. With this, we will close the class with the prayers. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, everyone.